Elizabeth Tracy with CCTV News You Can Use. We're here today at CARE, the Center for Abuse Rape Emergencies, to learn how we can stop violence one interaction at a time. Let's go inside to talk to Chris Hall about the Green Dot program. Hi, Chris. I wanted to come by and talk to you about the Green Dot program.
Sure, thank you for coming.
Tell me what Charlotte County Green Dot program is.
So the Charlotte County Green Dot program is all about changing our culture. It's a program that's designed to encourage our community to become active rather than passive bystanders, so that when you're faced with situations where maybe something could become a violent moment, we give you the tools and the equipment that you need to hopefully step in and prevent that from becoming an actual instance of violence.
Let's talk a little bit about what the training is. What are you taught?
So the idea behind the training is about what we call active bystander intervention, and we're targeting 6 different forms of violence. And when we say violence, we're talking about power-based personal violence specifically, which includes domestic violence, sexual assault, stalking, bullying, child abuse, and elder abuse. And the idea is that if we can teach these community members, if you're coming across a situation that looks like there might be a problem or something that just kind of gets your gut, we want you to be able to do something about it that's safe and realistic.
I see a little green dot on your shirt. What is that?
So that is the symbol that we wear. Anybody who's come through one of our trainings gets one of these green dot lapel pins. And the idea is that somebody somewhere hopefully will come up to you and say, exactly as you just did, what's with that green dot? And that's your opportunity to say, I'm glad you asked. This is what it's all about, and it just represents my stance against power-based personal violence.
When is the training? How do they sign up?
So the trainings are kind of scheduled as interest swells, and the idea is that the more people we get that reach out to us and say, hey, I'd be interested in attending one of those trainings, I just kind of jot their names down, I get like a list together, and then when we get about 25 or 30 people, I'll schedule a training, and I usually try to do them all over the county.
Recently, Hall gave Green Dot training to members of the Charlotte County Community Services Department.
We talked about domestic violence before. We've added dating violence to that.
How many people have been trained through this program?
About 500. About 500 people have been through our trainings through our first 3 program years, and of course we're not done yet. Understand that you might have a connection to either the target or the person committing the at-risk behavior.
What would you like the citizens of Charlotte County to know about Green Dot?
I would tell you that this program is for anyone. It doesn't matter how old or how young or anything of that nature. What we want is for the entire community. In a perfect world, every single member of Charlotte County would come through one of these trainings. And it's just the idea of we're all in this together and we can do something to help each other out without putting ourselves in a bad situation at the same time.
Charlotte County Green Dot uses statistics from the UCR, or Universal Crime Report, from the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. With this report, they can track how much violence is going on, and they hope with enough people trained, those numbers will decrease. Hall shared with us some recent numbers for the county.
For example, if we talked about domestic violence in 2017, the most recent statistics we have, Charlotte County law enforcement just here in Charlotte County responded to 619 different domestic violence calls. The scary part about that is how many of those calls never got made.
The Green Dot training, according to Hall, is so effective, he talked to us about some of his personal experiences he had at the beach one day.
I was at Clearwater Beach one time, just kind of walking around with my wife, and we were shopping and stuff. And there was a little girl who was maybe 3 or 4 years old, and she was running towards, not me specifically, but my direction. And she had fear in her eyes, and you know, fear in a child's eyes. You can't mistake that look. So I said, okay, something bad is happening here, and I start to go through my process. And then I hear her mother chasing after her, and her mother says, for the world to hear, I'm gonna show you how it feels to kick somebody. And so now as a parent myself, I know that moment of frustration and how kids can get you to that, oh my goodness, what am I gonna do point? But I said, I'm not gonna sit back and watch this mother kick this little girl. So my options are, I go through my, what we call the 3 Ds, which we mentioned, the direct approach. I can walk up to this mother and I can tell her that I disagree with her parenting style, which is not a good option for me. The second option is the delegate approach, but as I said, this was happening right now, there's no time. So I can't refer this to another person. So I went with the distraction. So what I did was, as the little girl ran past me, I kind of got in front of the mom and I just said, excuse me, do you know where I can buy a hat? The sun is killing me. That's all I said, 4 seconds of my life. But in the 4 seconds, the little girl made it to her father who was behind me, which is why she was running this way. And Dad picked her up and started to give her a lecture. And I said, wow, that's really cool that I just prevented this girl from getting kicked. Instead, she got a little bit of a lecture from her dad. I'd rather get lectured than kicked. So just a moment that it was an aha moment for me to see what I had learned and to actually use it and see that it can be done.
And if you would like to know more about the Charlotte County Green Dot program, you can find them on Facebook at Green Dot Charlotte County or on their website at carefl.org/Green Dot. For CCTV News You Can Use, I'm Elizabeth Tracy.